In this video, we're going to be talking about what Microsoft called their last version of Windows in 2015.
Can't wait to share it with you. Windows 11. Modern, fresh, clean.
I guess not. And I guess this doesn't make any sense anymore. So, why don't we just go ahead and change this because this doesn't really match anymore. There we go. That's better. Okay, so we're going to be talking about Windows 11. While I'm in the intro, I'm going to go ahead and start learning regarding this new operating system after so many years of Microsoft saying that Windows 10 was going to be their last version of Windows, and I'm going to come back to tell you everything that's going on with this new operating system. Let's get to it. Okay, let's start off discussing what I said before about Microsoft saying that Windows 10 was going to be their last version of Windows. Actually, this came in an article from The Verge where Microsoft itself was saying that Windows 10 was going to be their last version of Windows. Obviously, now we know that's not true. At the end of last month, Microsoft had a presentation where they announced their new version of Windows, which is Windows 11. So let's start talking about Windows 11. First off, let's talk about the look. It's going to have a new look, very modern, at least from my opinion. It's a very modern look. I actually kind of like it. One of the things that's kind of weird, but I'm sure we'll get used to it, is that now the start button is at the middle because it's saying that you are the middle of the experience. You are the purpose of the experience. So normally when we sit down in front of our computers, if it's a laptop, etc., we always try to sit in the middle of the screen or angling towards the middle of the screen. So that's what Windows decided to do. Don't worry, just in case you don't like the look of Windows being in the middle or the start logo being in the middle, you are going to have the option of moving it back to the left-hand side as it was before in years old or years past. Another one of these new updates is going to be themes. It's going to have the option for you to have dark mode, light mode. It had that before, kind of, sort of, but it's going to go full in to that now. And the wallpapers are going to be included into light mode and dark mode, so are going to be added to that theme of light mode and dark mode. This is what you're looking at in the background right now on the TV is the light version of that logo in Windows 11, but that's going to also come in a dark version, as you can see in the video that I'm showing right now or the video that I showed previously. Rounded corners is also going to be a new look to the UI. This new look, it's more for tablet convenience, and I'm going to be talking about more what they're doing for tablets later on, but they're rounding off the edges. It's no longer going to be a rectangle kind of squared off kind of edges. It's going to be more rounded off. Also, from the updates that they indicate, a Windows update actually is going to be 40% faster and more efficient, since now the updates are going to take place in the background. I'm sure that that's only for updates that don't require a restart, because if they require a restart, obviously they cannot be performed in the background. One of the big things that they announced is called Snap Layouts. They actually come with two Snap options. The first one is Layouts. This one's going to give you the option of dividing or spreading out your screens spreading out the windows in your screens. Whichever way you prefer, they're going to have 6 different options. You can either have 2 on top, 2 on the bottom, 3 across, all the same size, or you can have the one in the middle be larger than the ones on either side. You're going to have different options in order to be able to do that. We'll see once the system comes out which ones they actually use. And the other Snap option that they're going to have is called Snap Groups. You're going to have the option to have the windows for those who use an external display. You know that you have different windows than the ones that you have in case you have an extended display type. You're going to have different windows in different displays. Once you disconnect that or the power goes out, like it does very often here in Puerto Rico, you're going to have the option to It's going to bring it back to the main screen, which is in the case of a laptop, it's going to be the laptop screen. But it's not going to stay there making all that clutter. It's going to actually minimize. And when you connect that external display back, it's going to remember what screens, what windows, what windows were open in that screen, and it's going to bring everything right back as it was before, like if nothing happened. So that's actually a welcome update, especially here in Puerto Rico, where the light goes out so often that we have to rearrange everything back when we use Windows. So that's going to be a welcome change. Another one of the changes that they brought is multiple desktops. You're now going to be able to have multiple desktops with your one PC or laptop. This actually is something that Mac OS had a long time ago, and it's been having for a while now. But it's nice to see that I don't mind copying. It's fine with me. But it's nice to see that they see a good idea and they go like, maybe we can find a way of implementing that, and it actually looks a lot like the one in Mac OS, and it works fine. So I'm sure that if they did a true copy of it, it's going to work also very well for Windows. One of the things that they announced that is kind of weird is the integration with Teams to the operating system. When you think of chatting and video calling, the first thing that comes to mind for a lot of people when regarding Microsoft is Skype. But apparently they're going to move away from Skype, even though they spent a lot of money for the rights for Skype and purchasing the actual rights to Skype. They're going to move away from that, and now Teams is going to become the center for communications in Windows 11. You're going to be able to do video calling, messaging, etc. Everything is now going to be done through Teams, not through Skype. We're going to see what happens with Skype now that they're moving towards Teams, but apparently this might mean the end of Skype as we know it. Another thing that they announced is the widgets. I'm not going to talk a lot about widgets because I personally don't use them. I know a lot of people do, and they actually like it. But now you're going to have, like in tablets, they have the Surface. You're going to swipe from left to right, just like in the iPad. Again, I don't mind the copying as long as it's done. It's a good copy. You're going to swipe from left to right, and it's going to bring up like a sheet of glass that's going to have a lot of widgets on it, and they're going to update as long as you have an internet connection on your device. This is actually not a bad idea. I just hope, and you can even bring it full screen, which is actually something good. I just hope that they don't do the weird thing that Apple did, which is now that you can just, in the case of the tablet, in the iPad, that you can just place your widget anywhere, and they eliminate the option of this widget bar on the left-hand side. Just giving you options, and Microsoft does give you more options. You can just bring it from the left on the screen, and you can even bring it full screen, and you can remove it once you're done with it. That is actually a very nice option. Maybe, Apple, you might want to look into that so you can do something that's similar to that. The other update to UI that they brought is for tablet mode. Now I'm going to be talking about that. Once you disconnect the Surface tablet from the keyboard, the icons and everything is going to get just a little bit larger and a little bit more separated, so you have more space. We use our fingers, and depending on people, some people might try to touch something and they touch something else. So to give those people a little bit more comfortable, to make it a little bit more comfortable for them, then they're going to give you that option that once you disconnect it, it's going to automatically bring those icons a little bit larger, so you can do that with them. The next update that they brought is to gaming. Specifically, they brought a feature called Auto HDR. They say that now for those games that don't have HDR content, the operating system is going to give you a simulated HDR. The only concern that I have with that is to see how it's going to impact the performance for the GPU. That's something that's a little bit of concern to me. The only other thing that they brought was direct storage. indirect storage, the system, normally when you open an app, it comes from the hard disk to the CPU, and if it needs the GPU, then it passes over to the GPU. Well, it's going to cut that process off. It's going to go directly from the solid state or your hard drive directly to the GPU in the case of gaming, so you might see a little bit faster load times, etc. We're just going to have to wait and see how all that works out. New Microsoft apps. Now that's something that I really want to give it a second to talk about. Microsoft, in collaboration with Amazon, no, it's not for world domination, although I wouldn't doubt that eventually happens, but they did a collaboration where now in the Microsoft Store, you're going to be able to log into your Amazon account, and it's going to bring it together so you can actually open Android apps on your Microsoft or your Windows PC. That is actually, I think that it's a response to Apple's feature that if you have an Apple Silicon computer, you can open apps directly on your Apple Silicon. Now that the architecture is the same, well, this is Windows' way of trying to beat that back a little bit, saying, you know what, Apple didn't want to do it with the Intel chips, but it is an option that is available, and now we're bringing it to those people that have PCs. You're going to be able to open your favorite Android apps directly on your Windows PC and use it normally. What is my opinion? Well, putting aside that they said that Windows 10 was going to be their last operating system, I think that this is a welcome update. We're just going to have to wait and see, because most of the times and throughout the years, they've had a good operating system, bad operating system, good operating system, bad operating system. They went from Windows XP, which was really good, to Windows Vista, which was declared really bad, then to Windows 7, which was good. Everybody hated Windows 8. They liked Windows 10. So this is supposed to be the bad year, but I don't think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a pretty good operating system to deal with. Obviously, we're going to have to wait when it comes out in the holidays this year. That's for those of you wondering when it's going to come out. So we'll just have to wait and see to see how it comes out. If you like this video, please hit the like button right below me. Also, please consider subscribing and hitting that bell so you can get notified when we have new videos. Remember, we're available on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and obviously YouTube at J.R. Abrams Tech, so you can stay up to date with the latest news and rumors about tech. Until next time.